I think people have the misconception that you just dig a hole and you pull a skeleton out. And that is not at all how it happens. Gus is a 38-foot long, 12.5-foot tall T-Rex. It's one of the largest and most complete ever found at 61%, with those bones making up 75 to 80% of the mass of the animal. It's a monster. We've been working on it for 5 years. This is our longest term project ever. From the day that the first bone was discovered, we've been going back and forth to South Dakota to oversee this whole process. And finally, we're about to bring it to the public where it will be exhibited starting July 1st. I really love the tradition of naming the dinosaur after somebody who was involved. You know, Sue was named after Sue Hendrickson, Stan was named after Stan Sacriston. It's just right that it's named after Gary Licking.
I remember being asked about what I felt about a name, and they suggested Gary, and I was like, oh man, no, Gary would have a cow. But then learning about his nickname being used, I felt pretty good about that. I'm really grateful that they found it, because it could have been lost and nobody ever would learn anything from it. To make it come to life takes a lot of love and care and dedication. They stopped at nothing to make that happen. Of course, it would have been way better to have Gary, but I know that he would have just been in awe.
We found Gus in 2021 in Harding County, South Dakota. We were just wrapping up another project on Gary and Dana's ranch, and we had kind of an awkward couple days to fill. So we decided to do some prospecting.
Thomas and I rolled out together and we started right by the highway. It was a cloudy day and we were hiking, not in a very badlandy spot. It was kind of marshy and grassy.
It's not really where you expect to find things. A lot of the ground that has that look tends to be like more recent deposition, but we'd gotten in the habit of kind of checking weirder areas that a lot of people just miss. It was actually Gary who asked me before we were going out if I had worked this particular finger.
I went right, Thomas went left, and I straddled the road, walked up, and it was the very first thing I laid eyes on the first day. Saw the metatarsal poking out of the ground.
He calls me over and says, yeah, I think there's something you can look at over here. Walking up the hill to it, it was clear we had some really large bones, something I was really excited about.
By his reaction, I could tell it was going to be a special one. And he goes, next time I'm going right.
So once you find it, it's a race against time to excavate it before more erosion occurs, more weather impacts it. You got to dig that out as fast as possible in order to save the fossil.
One of the first things that we do when we find a site and identify kind of the first bones is we set up a grid and hand map everything. And that serves as a tool for a lot of reasons. It preserves a lot of the data. Knowing where bones come from is a resource that people can use long after I'm gone and can answer these questions as to where things were found and how they were associated.
As soon as the weather changes, it gets warm, you can go out there. You're not fighting the snow and the freezing. We're kind of only given a few windows of time
to sit and take the time to carefully and intentionally identify each piece and carefully inventory it, carefully create a quarry map in the field, carefully map everything. That is a huge part of the work, and it takes the highest level of skill, expertise, care, time to do it right.
Nearly 1,000 pieces were collected. Two things we want to do, which is kind of find the extent of the site. So you're working on, sediment layers. You're actually digging sideways as opposed to, down, which is a common question we get asked, is like how deep we have to go. You're looking at fragments that have weathered out from freezing and thawing, from rain, from wind. It wants to just fall apart. We're in some pretty remote, dense areas that are hard to get to, that are expensive to get to, that are logistically dangerous. No one else is looking in those places.
It's not just going out and moving dirt. It's a process, an unbelievable process. It's painstaking process. marking they find something, you can't just grab it out of the ground. There's a process for everything, and it just takes so long, but it's important that they do it that way so that it's preserved properly.
Jurassic Park likes to make it look like you walk up and there's an animal that's laying in some dramatic position. And the reality is that's not generally the case. These are associated skeletons, so they're bones spread over a vast area. And in this case, we ended up digging back probably 60, 70 feet in kind of multiple directions to clear the sediment layers that we were working in to verify that we had collected everything that could be located. You don't have X-ray vision, so you can't know exactly where you need to look.
You have to clear ground, whether you think something's there or not. There's a potential for a piece to be a quarter mile away that you didn't even know about.
This dinosaur was also mixed in with, hundreds of fragments of bone of completely other animals. The man hours and the resources of being out camping for 5 months out of the year, it's a lot.
If it were simple and easy, a lot more people would be doing it, but it is frustrating. It requires so much patience. The grueling process to get to a final specimen, that's what's important to me.
What is out in those hills is all that will ever exist, and finding it is critical to preserving it. And later on is the very fun process of taking all those fragments, cleaning them, laying them out, and seeing if you can identify. You're dealing with material that has been a part of the earth for a very, very long time, and it has no interest in cooperating. It wants to stay there.
The investment in doing something like this is enormous, not just in time. The expertise that you have to build over a lifetime. Going back into the lab, the time that's spent identifying and preparing and extracting things from the matrix, to learning how to do the ironwork and building it. I mean, it's a massive endeavor.
Just the identification process alone, just to fit them in exactly where they need to go, is a huge undertaking.
I help out with restoration and painting, and I also do most of the molding of bones. I really enjoy just assessing each little packet that comes in. It's usually a little aluminum foil ball or a larger plaster jacket, and opening that up and stabilizing what's in place, seeing how the fragments all fit together to make a complete unit.
So restoration work is going to be to fill in the blanks. What's missing? Is there a whole bone missing? Is there a half of a bone missing? Are parts of the bone missing? And those have to be done very carefully using appropriate cast material or 3D printed material, or sometimes sculpted material.
You take fragments, space them out perfectly where they should actually go on a given bone. I end up sculpting resin epoxy in between to fill it out, using hand tools for cracking, texture, surface fibers, whatever matches the bone that I'm currently restoring. It's almost all done by hand, bone by bone, day by day.
We're constantly changing and adapting to the problems with natural distortions within bones, as they go into the mount.
Even the skeletal structure itself and the posing of the animal, you can put up a rib cage, stand back, look at it from a farther perspective, and realize you need to tweak it or redo it.
One of the challenges of working on something that's 40 feet long and 15 feet high is just space, and that's why we're on a pickleball court, because it's really one of the only places in town that will house this thing. Gary had clearly had an interest, and he had found things on his own that he was excited to share with us in the past that he'd found on his ranch.
He would have just been absolutely thrilled to see what a magnificent specimen came off of his ranch.
He would have loved this.
Gary had for years roamed around his 6,500 acre property and seen T-Rex teeth and little bits of fossils and such, and he realized that there was probably something really important under the ground.
We lost Gary halfway through this process, and we wanted Dana to feel that she could, continue and see it through the end. We always have her in the shop every time we have the skull set up, and that's been really nice to feel like part of Gary is still here, doing all this with us.
I wish Gus was really here to enjoy it with me.
We'd been working on Gus for so long, and every time I'd come out to see Gus, it was always in pieces. We'd come out and we'd look at the skull when it was done. We'd come out and we'd look at the leg when it was done. But it wasn't until 5 years after it was discovered that I finally saw it fully mounted. And it just took my breath away.